Folks, welcome to Inside Aaron Bergen Making a Journalist. We're doing a Netflix documentary on this one, and I say journalist because we bring in specialists to add legitimate journalistic backbone to our otherwise foolhardy operation here. Look, nothing. If anything, 2019 is just going to be a little bit more loosey-goosey than anything we've ever done before here at Prep Insider. So, Aaron, thank you very much for sticking around with us. Happy New Year's, guys.
Oh, Lord.
It's the same thing my mom said about this job. So, the last time that we spoke, compared to now, a whole lot has happened. We've had several tournaments. We're closing in on league. We've had enough of a sample size now to really sort of understand what exactly this season is. And so I think that I'd like to flip the start of this one. I'm normally saying, we can wait a couple weeks till the top 10. Now we can actually talk about the top 10. So, Aaron, let's start with you.
Okay.
Give the people some bullet points, some shotgun feeders. We'll go all the way through, get everyone's top 10. And if you have a couple at the receiving votes, you can go 12, 13 if you really want to.
That's fine. All right. Well, my top 10 vote this week, I had Foothills at number 1. I felt that their showing at the Torrey Pines tournament was excellent. Mission Bay, too. I thought they were great at the tournament as well. A little bit of shine taken off with that loss in the championship game. Torrey Pines 3, St. Augustine 4. Country Day I held at 5 just because of the strength of schedule. Parker I've got moving up to 6. That nice win over San Marcos, who I have at 7. I have Vista at 8 after riding the ship with that nice win over La Costa Canyon. Poway at 9 and Santa Fe Christian at 10. Actually, I'm thinking that Santa Fe Christian is going to be one of the quicker risers in the next few rankings. They've been on a tear.
SFC desperately needs to stick at that 9, though, and not get themselves into the open conversation so that they can just keep rattling off D1 championships. Yes. Tommy, let's hear it from you.
Yeah, mine's a little bit different than yours.
Good. I'm glad.
At the top, it's kind of, or should I go backwards to build suspense?
Oh,
I'm going to do that. Number 10, I'm going to go with RBV, not Vista. I had both of them kind of 10A and 10B. I just switched it literally right now. Just in my mind.
Stir.
Yeah. Boom. Going with RBV there. Number 9, Montgomery. I know they just lost, but I think as the season progresses, they'll figure it out. Oh shoot, I had RBV at number 8. I'm sorry. Vista number 10, RBV, Montgomery number 9, RBV number 8, La Jolla Country Day number 7, San Marcos at number 6, 5 is Francis Parker, Torrey Pines at number 4, team that I still think could probably win the Open Division if they get going a little bit. Both the Pope brothers looking really good. Michael Pope is 46 of 99 for 3 right now.
That seems pretty good.
Yeah, that's just a little bit over 46%.
Yeah.
Let's keep it to where
Also, Tommy, just so you know, for the two of us, if you probably just cut to he's shooting 46%, that'll make both of us feel a little bit more included. Because I don't know about you, Aaron, but I was struggling to do the math there on the fly in my head.
No, it was fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but it's one shot away from 100, so it made it pretty easy on me. Next, I got Saints. Saints, another team. I mean, I think these top 4 teams realistically have the best, really even shot at taking this towards the end of the season. Saints, Chivas Agbo looking really good this year. And they got Foothills Christian at number 2 and number 1 Mission Bay. Shout out Boogie Ellis, 40 points in that semifinal game. Unbelievable performance. I think he had 20 in the finals. The Torrey Pines tournament played his heart out, but it just shadow bound. Good.
I will go 1 to 10. I got Foothills starting it off. I think that we are starting to see that, yes, there's parity at the top couple spots, but that Foothills is well-rounded and that they have ball movement and a little bit of size. They have a little bit of everything that they need. Mission Bay, number 2. I got Torrey Pines, number 3. I got Saints 4. Country Day, 5. I got Francis Parker, 6. Poway, 7. Vista, 8. RB at 9. Montgomery at 10.
They've had a rough week.
They've had a
weird season,
but they've had some huge wins at the first half of it. Look, that's why
they lost by 60 yesterday to Temecula Valley.
I understand that, and I also though take less credit of intersection games because
common opponents. Vista and RBV lost to Temecula Valley by 5. Christian lost to Temecula Valley by 8 in that BSN Sports Showcase. I think it was a 55-point loss. That's really tough to wrap my arms around right now at this point in the season. At this point in time, I don't think they're playing like a top 10 team.
And that's why we can all have those perfect disagreements on the back half. I want to focus, though, on the front half because it does seem like now, almost wire to wire, we've had some combination of Foothills, Torrey, Saints, Country Day, Mission Bay, in whatever order you want to talk about, kind of locked in since the beginning. So a couple months out right now from a potential championship, any one of you guys willing to put one team as the favorite, one team as the sleeper, or is it really still just any order that they get in, we could see melee and just pandemonium in the playoffs with this year?
I'll put Mission Bay as that favorite, even though I was just talking about how there's a lot of parity. They didn't have some of their star players early on in the season, which means everyone else had to play and step up. They played some really, really hard teams out of section, which I think helps a lot. And it's only going to go up from here for them. I know they're about 7-5 right now. Check me. I think that's going off the top of my head. No, but it's only going to go up from here, and it's going to be scary when they get to playoffs. I think my sleeper would be Saints, just because they were led by sophomores last year. Now they're juniors and Agbo and Hop, so they're making their way back up. Country Day is a team we've seen just because they've had some studs.
And Ryan Langborg has been starting there for 37 years.
Right, and Ryan Langborg's an 8th-year senior. So, I mean, we know what we get from them.
His doctorate, with his high school diploma.
He's a grad school transfer to Country Day. Aaron, you seem a little less sure, though, about being able to really make any sense about who is any sort of leader in this pack.
I will narrow it down to 4 right now because La Jolla Country Day is in a really precarious spot. Raymond Liu had a really bad ankle injury. And without him, they're kind of treading water at this point. Shadow Mountain exploited that a little bit in that first round game. When he went out, they had Ryan Langborg running the point, and it was really difficult for him to initiate the offense without a secondary ball handler. So between those 4, Foothills, Mission Bay, Torrey, and Saints, I still am not ready to kind of thin that herd yet because each of them have had moments. Foothills has been, really consistent of late. But I also still have concerns about their depth and about Mission Bay's depth. And to a certain extent, Torrey Pines, I thought they would be deeper than what they are right now, but they're narrowing it down to 6 guys pretty much playing right now. Saints has the best combination of size and guard play.
Yeah, Ogba's the one legit, real, actual big man in this mix, right?
I would say him. I think Travis Snyder, once he gets his sea legs, he'll be fine. But the guard play is still a concern because Foothills and Mission Bay, their guard play is off the charts. And Saints guard play, it's solid, but it's not, remarkable. And I think right now, if I were to say there were 2 teams out of that 4, I would say Mission Bay Foothills could be it'd be really easy for me to say that would be a repeat of last year's Open Division.
I will say this, over the break at the Torrey Pines Classic, seeing Boogie Ellis limited to 6 points against Torrey Pines, 2 of which were free throws, 2 of which were a dunk. So really only 1 field goal actually during the game.
That was the game winner.
The dunk was the game winner. It opened my eyes to something that, for as much as we do talk about the star power that that Mission Bay has in Boogie Ellis, that's a really well-rounded team in terms of between Savon Davis and Ronnie Ladding and Jay Norton and Andre, like there are enough people on that team that I don't think if you take the one superstar out of all the other teams that they function at that same high level. I don't think if you take Chibuzo or Hopt or Tyson McWilliams or someone out of Saints equation that they can fill in the pieces. I don't think that if you take Pope out of Torrey Pines or if you take a Yassine or a DCH out of Foot, it just showed to me that, man, this team is still very, very capable of. It's not the island of misfit toys backing him up is maybe what I'm trying to get at.
Not at all. And to a certain degree though, you have to factor in the fact that Boogie was on the court during that period.
Yeah, and he was drawing attention. Yeah. And so it wasn't like Boogie was just ice cold and they let him down.
Or in foul trouble.
Exactly. But to me, it just still, there is something to be said about even if you leave a guy wide open because you're triple teaming Boogie, that guy still has to make the buckets. That guy still has to make it. Yeah. Ronnie Ladding has to actually finish the dunk and not just have it bounce off his hands and or rim rocket out of there. So we mentioned a lot of tournament play. We mentioned a lot of that. That means room for tons and tons and tons of game balls. I know that you wrote us more or less an abridged version of War and Peace in the text messages trying to get us.
I did not write that much.
I just like to flex that I know books, man. Come on now.
You really thought I wrote like Finnegan's Wake? It was that difficult to read?
It was James Joycean.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Read your books, kids. Kids, yeah. Actually, yeah, Spartacus is fine.
Oh man, I think that
really just showed my age saying Cliff Notes, didn't I?
You did.
No, I was there with you.
Okay, do they still use those?
Yeah, it's
online now, though.
Yeah, it's just online. It's just no one buys the books anymore.
Nice.
And Wikipedia always works.
Yes.
Good advice.
No, because that Wikipedia gets you caught on Turn It In.
That's one of my great.
For our other podcast about how to get away with academic plagiarism, please swipe right. Okay, so game balls. Aaron, if you would like to grace us with what you got first, please.
All right. First, I'm going to give a game ball to a pair of brothers, Andrew and Zach Moore of Del Norte, combining for 26 points and 20 boards in a 67-47 win over Ramona. This is a key win in Division III. Ramona looked pretty good in their win over Rancho Bernardo, so they opened a lot of people's eyes. And Del Norte really kind of controlled that game from the jump. Morse's Rasheed Edwards and Xavier Otis. This was a very interesting game I was at last night. They lost the game 49-45. But get this. Otis and Edwards combined for 41 of the team's 45 points. In fact, no other Tiger scored until the first minute of the fourth quarter when two guys scored buckets like in the first 30 seconds. Never seen anything like that. I mean, that was really impressive. Two guys just holding down the fort against a pretty good Point Loma team. And then I'm going to give – you just talked about the supporting cast of Mission Bay. Please. I wanted to give a game ball to Andre Scott in that Torrey Pines win. 20 points, really just set the tone with his aggressiveness, getting to the basket. A colleague in Southern California, Joel Francisco, wrote about him as one of the revelations of the Holiday Classic. Obviously, we've got to see a lot of him over the course of his career. I don't understand why Division II schools are on the fence with this kid. I really think he could be the type of guy who could come in and have a great four-year career at a Division II university.
Tommy?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with Nick Sonk from Sage Creek. 22 points. 22 points, 11 rebounds. And why I like having the – he didn't just have a big game. It was a big game and a 2-point win, 79-77 against Otay.
Good win for them.
Clyde Harris from Oceanside, 17 points, 12 rebounds. People like to talk about the Beecham brothers, but Clyde's a pretty good player too.
He's nice.
In a 63-60 win over LCC. Next, Jack Bailey, RBV. Again, another guy who gets overlooked a little bit because he's got a star player on his team, but he had an unreal tournament in the Torrey Pines Holiday Classic. They were in the Mayor's Division. They won the whole thing. He had 25 points and 8 rebounds in the championship game, and throughout the tournament, he was 20 of 45 from 3. That is pretty good, and those are my 3 guys.
I would like to address some of the teams that we haven't talked about really this season, and that's starting with West Hills. I'd like to give a game ball out to Kyle Dobbins. I hope I'm saying that right. He made a bunch of threes in their win against San Pasquale. West Hills, this is the first time we've talked about them without Cam Barry in the existence of our show.
Or in baseball.
Exactly. So that feels nice to give them a game ball. I know that this season has so much context for them, and they're playing with a heavy heart. So it's nice to see them getting some wins. Mount Carmel, want to give a game ball out to them. They got a 20-point dub over Valley Center. Yeah. Mount Carmel is a team that we've seen some stuff. Like there's been some positive wins there.
Third place finish at the tournament that they hosted, the Mount Carmel Holiday Classic. That's no small feat given some of the teams that they beat.
They seem like a really dangerous 5 or 6 seed. They seem like a team that maybe gets into the playoffs in some of the and maybe the lower seeds.
They're Division IV. They're a favorite to win it.
Okay, fair enough. Next game ball, we have not talked about Coronado much this season. They got a big win over Hoover. I'm really glad. Like the look on your face validates my attempt at game ball.
No, I'm surprised at that one. I mean, Hoover came into the game 2-11, but they had played a the toughest 2-11 schedule you might see anywhere. Coronado got them at Hoover.
Yeah.
That's a big win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the last one feels like a much needed win, and that's Lincoln over Kearney in big fashion. I know that Lincoln always has a lot of expectations and a lot of pressure and a lot of context going along with their program. So to beat Chris Glennon at his home court, because Kearney, they know how to score, they know how to win at home, and to drub them by 50, that's a big win.
Yeah, they drubbed them pretty good. I mean, that's nothing else to say about that.
Yeah, no, it's a much needed win. Those are the game balls. Usually we like to now talk about games that are coming up this week. So we just got to start with one today, though, and that's SFC Foothills. Historically, this has been good for you, SFC. Please enjoy TJ Leaf or somebody like that, reminding you why you are in D1. This one feels like this could be the time that SFC finally gets one back on.
You know, they've played Foothills tougher than any team over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, that's what
Charles Dudley
and
everybody having to go banging under the
that's Leaf, Hands, Cherry. I mean, they've been kind of a nemesis. They've just come up short in overtime, the last couple seconds of regulation. I remember a game a couple years ago where they led pretty much the entire game and just coughed it up at the end. You know, this feels like this could be the type of game that really sets the tone for the rest of the Coastal League. I mean, if Foothills can get that win, you know, I think it sets them up pretty well moving forward. Obviously, Parker and La Jolla Country Day will have a lot to say about that. I was really impressed with Santa Fe Christian's win against South Point Catholic in the Senators Division semifinals. South Point Catholic has a kid going to Pepperdine, Majuk Dang. They have a kid, Evan Nelson, who's being recruited by every mid-major Division I on the West Coast right now. They thumped them. I mean, it was very impressive. So that's a great game to watch.
I will say this. I'm going to agree with you. This is probably the best chance they've got at it in the last couple of years. But I'm still going to pick Foothills. Still going to pick Foothills. And I'll say this about the Santa Fe Christian program in general, but all sports. It seems like they play everybody tough. A tiny school that can hang with pretty much anyone. So
and they don't really recruit. I mean, they've been growing talent from, you know, the elementary, lower school ranks, and they do a great job.
They are the Wisconsin of our high school realm. They're always just kind of hanging around, reminding people that if you slip up, we're gonna beat you. Next game, Patrick Henry and Christian. This is going down tomorrow. A pair of teams that need to get hot in January to sort of reach where they had been kind of expecting this season. We also haven't just talked enough about Davian Faber this year, and I saw him yesterday. What's good, Coach? Hope those scratchers went well. Give me some. Is this going to be a Jackson Larson heavy game? Like, we have not gotten to talk about this team enough. Tommy?
Well, I don't know how the scratchers went yesterday, but I think they'll hit the jackpot in this game. I'm going to take Christian. I'm so happy you went to me first because I want to do that pun so badly. I don't want to nice. So yeah, I got the Patriots this one.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Christian as well. I mean, I think.
Wait. Let's address something. You said the Patriots, dude. Which school is that?
Oh, yeah. I should have switched it there for the suspense. No, I'm going with Christian.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick the red, white, and blue Patriots in this one. I think this team kind of hit a snag in their holiday. I mean, we talked about this last podcast. The holiday tournaments really can, you know, they really can change the course of your season. You go 2-2, 3-1, 4-0, and you feel really good about yourself. You go 1-3, 0-4, and you're coming back licking wounds. So, you know, Christian had that type of holiday tournament, but I think adding Kobe Sanders to the lineup, you know, he's eligible now, and Patrick Roberts is healthy, and Jackson Larson is a stud. I just don't think Patrick Henry has the firepower right now. I think they're a year or two away, but they're going to be pretty good. Patrick Henry's got a lot of good young talent.
They got a great sophomore and junior class.
Dexter Stratton, 6'6" forward, and then they've got a freshman there who starts, Michael Rayner, about a 5.5, 6'6" center. Yeah, their future is, you know, coming years, but I think Christian gets it done.
Last game, Victory Christian Academy versus Valhalla. Dominick Sepharda and Valhalla seem hard to beat this year, but Victory Christian is having one of their better seasons that they've had under DJ Gay. So is this an upset for Victory Christian, or is this time for people to just start going out and checking out Valhalla?
Valhalla is going to win this game by, I'd say, 30+. I mean, Victory Christian has 3 really talented kids and very little else. I mean, Christian Ubochi has become a sleeper prospect in the 2021 class. Larry Oldham III has been their leading scorer, and Jalen Wilson is a quality shooter. But it's really tough when you're bringing 3 guys to against a team like Valhalla that has not 1 but now 2 really talented guards. Jordan Gaines, who was sitting out after transferring from Christian, he's eligible now. So you've got to deal with both of those guys. And once you stop them and they drive and kick, they've got kids like Joe Avalos who can hit like 14 threes in a game. So it's not going to happen.
Yeah, not yet for Victory Christian. Like DJ Gay, I think he's going to get the program in the right direction. It's just a little too soon for them to take on a team like Valhalla. I got Valhalla big.
I definitely want to see Victory Christian in the playoffs this year. I think that
they're D4, right?
Yeah, they're D4.
I mean, they're capable of making a run to the semis.
Yeah, when you start to transition into January and you start to see teams stop playing the interleague, interdivision, and they start to level out, then you get a little bit more realistic sense of some of this. This is a Friday podcast. We just had to get back in the swing of things. We'll be back early next week with another one as we get into the full routine. Aaron?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, I wanted to thank my daughter, who's been kind of a trooper. So you guys know my son, AJ, he's halftime. This is Samantha. This is part-time. Samantha, say hello.
Hi.
And she's been spending, she spent a little bit of her holiday break with us, watching us yammer on about basketball and not talking about dance. She's a dancer, but thank you so much, babe.
And she's only, 5 years away from beating AJ one-on-one?
Pretty much.
Yeah, no.
You don't think you're going to beat AJ? He's too good.
Could the 2 of you together beat AJ 2-on-1?
Yes, we could.
All right, fair enough. That's all we need to know here.
Wow.
And on that note, folks, we'll see you next week.